Hi guys, so grifter and political opportunist Nigel Farage has some pretty harsh words for the Tories. He knows, like the rest of us, that if there was an election held tomorrow with Liz Truss at the helm, the Conservatives would lose and likely lose big. Farage says that he was their greatest support outside the party, and thanks to him Boris Johnson won an 80-seat majority. That can be debated, but Farage now wants the party to lose. Why? Well, have a listen.
I have absolutely no idea what the Conservative Party is. Having helped them get their 2019 victory more than any other human being outside the Conservative Party, I'm sorry, it's a strong word, but I despise what they've done, what they've become, the weakness of their so-called leaders, their total lack of connection with the real world. I thought Cameron and Osborne were out of touch with real people. This lot are even more out of touch. And I've actually got to the point, I hope they lose. I hope they lose big, because that's the only way we're going to get a recalibration of what the Conservative Party really is.
Now, there's a few interesting things he said here. So first of all, he said that he supported them, and thanks to his support, they won a 2019 election, and they won an 80-seat majority in that 2019 election. I don't want to talk too much about that, but Farage has always tried to present himself as giving advice or helping the Conservative Party. And I think he wants the Conservative Party members or MPs in particular to come to him in the future asking advice on how to reform the party. Because it's likely at the next election that the Tories will be trashed, especially if Liz Truss is in charge. But when he talks about how the Conservative Party has been led by weak leaders, of course he's talking about Brexit here. Nigel Farage sold the people, the public, an idea of Brexit. He could never go into detail because it was a unicorn. It was not something that could be achieved. But he continues to sell this idea that he's the one who had the right idea of Brexit. And Boris Johnson and Theresa May and Liz Truss and all these others who are trying to implement Brexit are not implementing the right type of Brexit. And because they're not implementing the right type of Brexit, that's why you're seeing all these problems. See, if Nigel Farage had been in charge, then you would have got the right type of Brexit. But he knows that he would not have been in charge, and he knows that he would not want to be in charge, because then he'd have to take responsibility for the rhetoric that he pumped out in 2016. He would actually have to answer to people, and he doesn't have to answer to people in his current position. He wants to be kingmaker, but he never wants to be king. Now, when he talks here about how the party is disconnected from people, it's very different to what I mean when I say the Conservatives are disconnected from the public. I mean the cost of living crisis. I talk about how these are people who earn, some of them are multimillionaires, almost billionaires in some cases. These are people, it's not just about the money, it's the disconnect from the realities facing people at the moment and the real understanding of that, because you can be a millionaire or a billionaire and understand what people are going through and try and help them because you understand what they're going through. The Conservatives at the moment don't understand and don't care. So that's why they're not providing real support. What Farage is talking about here is not about the cost of living crisis. He doesn't give a crap about that. He's talking about issues like woke or cancel culture or these culture wars. And he wants the Conservatives to come to him for advice in the future on how to fight these culture wars. This is what he's talking about when he talks about the recalibration of the Conservative Party. It's not about reaching out to working class people who are suffering at the moment. It's about reaching out to working class people who read The Sun or the Daily Mail or the Express and channeling that anger towards whatever Nigel Farage wants that anger channeled towards. So be it immigrants or the left or liberals or wokeists or whatever. This is what he wants to do. He wants to, as I said, he wants to be kingmaker but not king. He wants the Conservatives to come to him asking for advice. It's about, I think part of it is his ego. And that's what he's talking about when he wants the Conservatives to recalibrate. They will get a thrashing. And I'm sure Nigel Farage will be pumping out lots of material about why they got a thrashing. And I'm pretty sure it will be mainly about how the party is disconnected from voters. But remember, his idea of disconnection is very different to mine. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.